You won't believe the wild journey of Mike Epps, a man who rose from humble beginnings to become one of comedy's most talked about figures. Born Michael Elliott Epps on November 18, 1970, in Indianapolis, he started making people laugh as a teenager. But his path to fame wasn't smooth. Early on, he performed stand-up in small clubs and struggled to get noticed. It was only after moving to Atlanta that he began sharpening his skills, slowly building a reputation in the comedy world. The turning point came when he moved to Brooklyn and appeared on the Comedy Jam in 1994. Suddenly, people were paying attention. His style was raw, full of energy, and a bit wild, just like Mike himself. This is how he went from a local comedian to a name everyone knew. His big break in movies came with roles like Day Day Jones in the hit film Next Friday and its sequel, Friday After Next. These roles made him famous overnight. He was funny, relatable, and had a unique way of making audiences laugh with his charm and sharp wit. Beyond acting, Mike didn't limit himself to just one talent. He tried voice acting too, replacing Martin Lawrence as the voice of the bear, Boog, in Open Season 2. He even appeared in TV shows like The Upshaws and had parts in action movies like Resident Evil Apocalypse and Resident Evil Extinction. People admired how he managed to balance comedy and acting while also dipping his toes into music by running his own record label. But here is the shocking part. Mike's journey wasn't only about success and laughter. Behind the scenes, there was a never-ending series of controversies and drama. His comedy was often controversial, crossing lines that many thought should never be crossed. He made jokes about disabilities that upset many people, especially parents and advocates who felt he was insensitive and hurtful. The backlash was fierce. Social media exploded with criticism, and disability campaigners openly called him out. Still, Mike refused to back down from his style of humor, which only made the controversy grow bigger. Let me tell you, with Mike Epps, the drama was as thick as the laughs. What makes this story different? Mike didn't stop at jokes. He got involved in real-life problems that made headlines. One of the craziest moments was when he got into a physical fight with fellow comedian LeVar Walker. The situation started because LeVar made a funny video mocking Mike and another comedian, Kevin Hart. Instead of laughing it off, Mike and his bodyguards allegedly jumped LeVar, leading to police getting involved and an arrest warrant being issued. Destiny took an unexpected turn here because you wouldn't expect a comedian to get into such trouble over a joke. But Mike's life was full of twists like this. Just when people thought they had seen it all, Mike shocked everyone again during one of his stand-up shows by bringing a live kangaroo on stage. Yes, a real kangaroo. The audience was stunned, and so was the internet when videos of the show went viral. But here is the shocking part. The kangaroo looked very uncomfortable and distressed. People were furious and demanded to know why Mike thought it was okay to put an animal through that chaos for the sake of a joke. The backlash came quickly, and Mike had to apologize, saying it was an unscripted moment and he never meant to harm the animal. However, many viewers were not convinced, and the incident added another layer to his complicated public image. This roller coaster life of Mike Epps was full of ups and downs, success and scandal. His story keeps twisting and turning, with each new event more surprising than the last. You think you knew him from the movies and comedy shows, but this is where it gets interesting. The man who made millions laugh also made headlines for all the wrong reasons. His journey was far from simple, and this was just the beginning. But here's where the story really takes a turn. Mike Epps wasn't just a comedian and actor. He was also a businessman with a music side hustle that surprised many. Back in 2006, he launched Naptown Records in his hometown of Indianapolis. This wasn't just a casual project. He signed a local artist named Filthy Phil, who had recently been released from prison on serious drug charges. The deal was reportedly worth $175,000, which is a big deal for an up-and-coming label. But destiny took an unexpected turn when Just a year later, Filthy Phil was charged with first-degree murder in Oakland. This blew up into a huge scandal that forced Mike to cut ties with the artist quickly. You won't believe how fast things spiraled from a promising business move into a nightmare. This is how the music side of Mike's life got tangled in controversy. Despite this, Mike kept pushing forward. He didn't want to be known just as a comedian or actor. He wanted to prove he was a multi-talented artist. In 2009, he dropped a comedy album that mixed stand-up bits with actual music tracks. He collaborated with big names like French Montana, Eminem, and Hurricane Chris. His singles like Big Girls I Like and Trying to Be Gangster showed that he wasn't messing around. He even made appearances in music videos, blending himself deeper into the hip-hop scene. But the craziest part? Mike managed to network his way into different corners of the entertainment industry, from old-school hip-hop to new trap artists. It was like he had a secret connection to every part of the music world. And people started to wonder, was Mike Epps just a comedian, or was he a hidden force in hip-hop? But let me tell you, not everyone was happy with Mike's approach. His edgy humor had often landed him in hot water, and this time it was no different. He came under fire for making jokes about people with disabilities that many found offensive. Parents and disability advocates spoke out, saying Mike's jokes crossed a line by mocking children with physical and mental challenges. The backlash was intense, sparking heated debates on social media and beyond. But here is the shocking part. Mike refused to apologize or tone down his comedy style. Instead, he defended his right to push boundaries, which only fueled the controversy. You'd think that after all the backlash, he would change his approach, but Mike seemed determined to keep stirring the pot. And then came another real-life drama. Mike Epps was involved in a public fight with fellow comedian LeVar Walker in 2014. It started with a funny video LeVar made poking fun at Mike and Kevin Hart. But instead of laughing it off, Mike took things too far. Reports said Mike and his bodyguards physically attacked LeVar, throwing punches and kicks. The incident got so serious that the police got involved, and Mike faced an arrest warrant just 2 days later. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Most comedians would laugh off jokes, but Mike's reaction showed a different side of him. What made this story different? It wasn't just the fight itself, but how quickly things escalated from a joke to a headline-grabbing legal issue. And just when you thought the drama couldn't get any crazier, Mike pulled off one of the most bizarre stunts in comedy history. During a live show, he brought a kangaroo on stage. Yes, a real kangaroo. The audience was shocked, but the real outrage came from animal lovers who saw the poor animal looking distressed and uncomfortable. Videos of the incident spread like wildfire on social media, sparking furious backlash. People demanded answers. Why did Mike think it was okay to put a wild animal through such stress for a laugh? He apologized, saying it was unscripted and that he never intended to harm the kangaroo. But let me tell you, many were not buying it. The incident added another layer of controversy to Mike's already complicated public image. Now, this is just the middle of the story. Mike's life continued to twist and turn, with new revelations and controversies popping up that kept the public hooked. Are you ready to hear what happened next? Now, hold on tight, because what happened next was something no one saw coming. In early 2024, during an interview on the All the Smoke podcast, Mike Epps made a shocking confession that sent shockwaves through his fan base. He admitted that he hadn't always treated women the way they deserved. Let me tell you, this wasn't just a casual comment. Mike opened up about lying to women, getting them pregnant, and selling them dreams he couldn't keep. He said, "I'm going to get this right before I leave this earth. I want to learn how to treat a woman 100% right." This is where it gets interesting, because after years of jokes and controversies, Mike was suddenly being honest about his personal flaws. But here is the shocking part. His confession didn't bring sympathy, it sparked a huge backlash. Fans and critics alike weren't ready to forgive so quickly. People started dragging him on social media, questioning his character and how he treated his wife, Kira Robinson. Now, Kira isn't just anyone. She's a producer at ON, and they've been married since 2019. The public pressure forced Mike to issue not one, but two public apologies to Kira. The internet didn't hold back, and honestly, once the public gets involved, it's hard to undo that kind of damage. This controversy showed a different side of fame, the harsh reality that private mistakes can explode into public scandals overnight. But the drama didn't stop there. Mike Epps also found himself in the middle of another fiery celebrity feud. This time it was with former NFL star and sports commentator Shannon Sharpe. Mike made some questionable jokes about Shannon's sexuality during one of his stand-up shows. You won't believe the heat this stirred up. Shannon Sharpe didn't take it lightly. He publicly called Mike out, accusing him of lying about their past interactions and even threatened to release private messages to prove it. The back and forth got personal and intense, and fans were glued to every word. The craziest part, both men agreed to meet for a sit-down to try and settle their beef, but nobody knew if peace would actually come or if this was just the start of a long-running saga. Throughout all this chaos, Mike Epps' career kept moving. Despite the controversies, he was still touring, cracking up crowds across cities like DC and Cleveland. His comedy was as sharp as ever, and he even landed exciting new projects. Mike was starring in the Netflix hit The Upshaws and had a role in an Apple TV miniseries alongside Natalie Portman. And if that wasn't enough, he co-wrote a new movie called Ready to Sell Out, showing off his skills as a writer and actor. It's like Mike was saying, yeah, I've had my share of drama, but I'm still here, and I'm just getting started. This made people wonder, what's next for Mike Epps? Will the controversies keep piling up, or is he ready to turn the page? The truth is, Mike's story is far from over, and if history has taught us anything, it's that with Mike, you never know what's coming next. Now, that's a story that keeps you hooked, right? All right, let's dive into the final chapter of this roller coaster ride called Mike Epps' life. You won't believe, but even after all the drama, Mike's career hit a new high. He wasn't just riding the wave of comedy anymore, he was making serious moves in Hollywood. His upcoming projects had fans buzzing, especially his new movie Ready to Sell Out, which he didn't just star in but co-wrote himself. This showed a side of Mike that many didn't expect, a hardworking, creative force behind the scenes. But here is the shocking part. Despite all the ups and downs, Mike managed to keep his personal life somewhat steady. He's a proud family man, married to Kira Robinson, and a loving father to his children from both marriages. Yet, even with all this, controversy seemed to follow him everywhere. The Kangaroo incident, the feud with Shannon Sharpe, and his past mistakes kept the headlines coming. What makes this story different? It's how Mike handled it all. He never backed down. Whether it was facing public backlash or standing his ground in fights, Mike's attitude was clear. He's here to entertain, and he's not going anywhere quietly. But here's where destiny took an unexpected turn. Mike Epps has begun to shift his focus toward redemption and growth. In interviews, he spoke openly about learning from his past mistakes, especially when it came to respecting women in his family. This honesty showed a different Mike, one trying to change and mature. Fans started to see a more human side of the comedian beyond the jokes and headlines. This shift didn't erase his past, but it made his story even more compelling. The craziest part? Mike Epps' life feels like a never-ending show full of drama, laughter, and surprises. His journey is a mix of wild controversies, heartfelt confessions, and undeniable talent. From stand-up stages to Hollywood sets, he's proven that no matter how many storms he faces, he keeps coming back stronger. So, if you thought Mike Epps was just another comedian, think again. This is a man whose story keeps evolving, and honestly, we can't wait to see what the next episode holds.